Oh, yeah, I was gonna, right, I gotta give pre-info to Nielsen and Morrison at the same time, and then I'm gonna do your case first, Mr. Nielsen.
Okay.
Where's Morrison? Kevin Morrison? Did he in the Balasco? She's sleeping in the back. Here he comes. All right, so gentlemen, I'm just gonna give you some preliminary information together. All right. It's just faster because you're both here on out-of-state warrants, and it saves explaining time. All right, so, and this is not your specific case, I'll do that after. So each of you is here on a warrant, or in your case, Mr. Morrison, 2 warrants from a different state. And that works very differently than an in-state warrant because you have extradition rights. You don't fight your criminal case here. What happens here is an extradition case, which is a civil case, not criminal. So you have 4 important rights in these cases, and I'm going to list them. We give everybody an opportunity to waive those rights. Are you having trouble hearing me?
I am too.
Okay, let's get the, can we get the door closed, please? That'll kill the echo, and we can try to avoid the, the headphones. We have headphones, but the headphones are, no, it needs to go all the way to kill the echo. All the way? Thank you. All the way, okay. Is that better, gentlemen, or would you like headphones?
No, it's just fine. There's no ambient noise coming in.
Right. 3/4 of the time, shutting the door does it, but we also have headphones. If you can stop me and ask for the headphones at any time. They're just a pain. All right. Each of you is here on a warrant from another state. That works very differently. You don't fight the criminal case here. What happens here is an extradition proceeding, which is a civil court proceeding. We give people an opportunity to waive their rights as to extradition only and agree to go back to the state that wants them. That's called waiving extradition. You have a chance to waive extradition at any point that you're in a courtroom for this case. Anytime, even like it's the day of your extradition hearing, you could waive before it happens. It's fine. We'll take your waiver. You never have to waive. It's like a change of plea almost, except it's not criminal. So this is just an opportunity to waive. It's not your only opportunity. So if you want to not decide today, no worries. And you never have to waive. You have the absolute right to have an extradition hearing in Arizona and make them prove that they have the right to take you back to the state that wants you. So that's if you go down the road to extradition, that's within 90 days. That's your first right. You have the right to have an extradition hearing on these warrants within 90 days after today. That cannot be moved. That is the longest that they can have, is 90 days. And as part of that process, they must get a governor's warrant, literally signed by the governors of each state, and presented to the Arizona court within those 90 days. And my understanding is, I've never worked extradition court, but that is why they get 90 days, because that can be slow to get the governor's warrants from the 2 offices. And so the third right is you have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense, but extradition proceedings are not criminal proceedings. You don't fight the charges here, you fight them back where they want you. Here, it's just a civil case, and so you don't have a constitutional right to a lawyer. What you have is the right, as everybody always does, to hire a lawyer at your own expense to represent you. If you can't, you have to represent yourself. Also, just for your information, there has been for many, many years a public defender generally assigned to our extradition court because thankfully we have the resources for that. And she's very experienced. She can give you legal advice. I cannot. And if the extradition judge wants to appoint the public defender in your case, she has the discretion to do that. But there is no guarantee that she will do that. But you are allowed to ask, and it does sometimes happen. So I just like to tell people that it's theoretically possible. You could get a public defender, but you're not constitutionally entitled to it. You are constitutionally entitled to a lawyer for the criminal charges wherever it is that wants you. So that's the lawyer part. Thirdly, under Arizona law, you are entitled to bond on these cases. And Mr. Morrison, one of yours that I'll explain in a minute did issue as a no bond warrant, but it appears to be a pre-conviction warrant. It might be post-conviction, but in Arizona, unless we have clear indication that it is post-conviction, meaning probation or parole, you are entitled to bail, even if the other state issued it as no bond, because Arizona has a constitutional bail right. So I can explain that more when I do your cases. So you are entitled to bail. If you don't waive extradition, I'm going to set bail and give you your first court date in extradition court. It won't be your extradition hearing, it's just your first court date. So if you don't waive today, either because you never want to or you can't decide, then your first court date is going to be Monday, October 14th. So a week from Monday, which is 10 days from now. That'll be October 14th at 1:30 in the afternoon, and then I will set bail in your cases. And Mr. Morrison, the no bond case in yours will be $75,000 cash only, and the other one did come out as a $25,000 bond, so that'll be cash only. So your total bond would be $100,000 cash only. Mr. Nielsen, if you don't waive today, the court is inclined to set bail in your case. California issued it as no bond, but it does not appear to be a sales case, so I would set bail in the amount of $5,000 cash only. That's your case. And so because you have to know what I'm contemplating if you don't waive. I don't think you can fairly consider it if you otherwise. So let me have you go ahead and sit down, Mr. Morrison. I'm going to do Mr. Nielsen's case first, and then we'll get you up after. Yeah, okay, thanks. All right. Okay, now it's your case. Can I have your, well, we're going to get the door closed again. Hold on. Thank you. Okay.
Vincent Kenneth Nielsen.
Mr. Nielsen, as I mentioned, you are here on a warrant from the state of California out of Los Angeles County. What I have now is what's called a teletype. It's a warrant abstract. It's not a copy of the warrant. It is the hit in the federal system for it. And it says, it was issued, date of warrant, 1/5 of 1995. So it says it's a 1995 case. So this may be a probation warrant. I do not know.
I don't believe it is.
Okay, I was going to say, you don't have to tell me if it is.
Yeah, it couldn't be, but I don't know what the state's thinking.
So, let me go back to it. Okay. Los Angeles County, and it just says offense, dangerous drugs, date of warrant, January 5 of 1995. In their response, because we asked them to confirm that they still want you, they did, and they say they hold a no bail felony warrant, and it says charge dangerous drugs. Again, it doesn't say for sale, so I mean, they do them, right? They issued it as a no bond warrant. I'm assuming it is simple possession and that it was 9 years ago. So that is why I'm willing to set bond so low.
Did you say 9 years ago?
Well, it's a 1995. Oh, 19 years ago. You're right.
24.
20. I have bad math. I have terrible math. No, you're right. It's almost 30. It's 20.
Yeah, almost 30. Excuse me. You're right. I was trying to count it up last night.
God almighty.
Because I've been pulled over numerous times in this state, and they told me you have the warrant, but they don't want to extradite you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the most I'll do for you is I will make this secured. They may pull this. They may pull it, but they confirmed it yesterday.
Okay.
And so I will. If you don't want to waive today, I would do it as secured because, as you point out, I have terrible math. I'll try not to be embarrassed about that.
So I'm not
29 years ago.
I'm not going to waive my rights. I want to fight the extradition.
Okay. All right. And let me just advise you that this warrant will never be quashed from the California system unless you do something about it, because obviously, as you've learned, getting arrested in Arizona does not quash a California warrant. It doesn't quash a New York warrant or a Wisconsin warrant. If you've known about it and you haven't done anything about it, this will keep happening. Even if they drop this hold 2 days from now and you get out, you are going to be arrested on it if they confirm it again. And so you probably can't afford a lawyer, I don't know. You can start writing letters and filing things in California. You can represent yourself in California and try to make this go away.
Yes.
I'm not unsympathetic, but
I understand.
I can't quash a California warrant.
I get it.
And so I'm just going to say this is 20 and bail set based on 4 prior criminal history, and this warrant dates from 29 years ago. That's crazy town. It's very close to 30. I'm going to put almost 30. All right.
And normally they won't even lock up criminals in their own state over there.
That's a really good point. No, it is. No, honestly,
no, I'm not laughing, Your Honor. I'm just stunned that after 30
I agree.
years it comes to fruition.
No, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to set a little bit of bond for you, but I'm going to do 500 secured. I want you to come to court. I'm going to try to set something that I hope you can pay, because if you don't come to court, if they don't drop it, right, by the 14th, If you come to court and you're not there, our probation judge is going to issue a cash warrant for you. She's going to issue an Arizona warrant. And it's my hope that you would like to go and try to deal with it.
I would, as I told the DPS officer last night, I'm just trying to get my rights restored in this state and in that one, so I can have the right to vote.
Well,
I'm 55, voting matters now.
No, agreed. And I sadly, I don't think you're going to make it for this election, but good luck with that.
Yeah.
And so, in any event, so I'm going to set 500 secured.
I'm going to stay in for the 30 to 90 days, Your Honor, and fight it and make them.
All right, but if you can bond out.
I can probably. Okay. My wife's here now, actually.
Just come to court. And if you show
absolutely.
up, you could even ask the judge to exonerate that bond back to you on the 14th. You can ask her. But what I want to see is that you will come. If you will come.
Yeah. All my other court cases that I had in the past, and the last one I think I had here was in 97, 98. Yeah. I showed up for the court and I did my time. I've gotten out in 01 or 02.
Right.
I haven't done anything since it's a
I see that, right? 98, right? You actually went to prison and amazingly you did not recidivate.
That's right. So, that's not amazing. It's when you have willpower.
Well, statistically speaking,
I understand.
I am amazed.
I know.
And not knowing you at all. No. That's, I'll say impressively. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, all right. So that's my decision. I'll note that you're not waiving your rights. Let's get this printed up for you. Okay. And then go to court and talk to the probation judge about it. And talk to the PD. I don't know if you've been down there yet, but if you've ever been to our extradition court, but this PD is very experienced.
Okay.
And maybe she'll have some ideas for you. I don't know how much time she has. How many people are in the case, whatever. But she's, to my knowledge, she's been doing extraditions for a good 10 years.
Yeah.
So talk to her and see if she has any advice for you. She can give you legal advice.
Originally, when California let me go, I was on probation way back in the mid-90s for sales of cocaine. I got locked up in Yuma, and Yuma said, hey, California said, if you don't ever come back, they'll drop your case.
Oh.
So that's why I just figured it was going to be that way with both of them, and I never want to go back because that state is bonkers.
and it's easy to just not go there.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I don't know. I good luck with this. This is a cuckoo one, and I think it's funny that my brain thought it was 9 years ago. But that sometimes happens when one is over the age of 50. So, all right.
55, I actually just turned in May.
I'm older than you. If that makes you feel any better, I am older than you are.
Well, you've been very helpful today.
And sometimes I lose 20 years.
Okay.
And your brain just goes, that was like, I'll lose between 2000 and 424, not usually into the 90s, but that's why I said I'll try not to be embarrassed about that.
Oh, I'm
senior
just
moment.
happy that you answered my question correct, because I needed to hear.
Well, good luck with that, Mr. Nielsen. It's definitely looking taking a minute to look more closely at the sequence of events. You're very clearly not public enemy number 39 million in California.
Exactly.
But somebody down at LA, they confirmed your warrant yesterday and said it's a no bond warrant. So go to court.
I will. Believe me, this is one I want off my record.
Yeah. Good luck, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Can we get him out of here? Can we get you're right, thank you.
I like to go ahead and waive my right to extradition. Try and get back down to Missouri as soon as I can.
Okay, all right, so...
how long does it take to come and get me?
Well, I'm going to go over all of that. So let me do your case now. What we talked about earlier was more just informational.
Right.
So let's actually do your case now. And so first, let me have your full name and date of birth, please.
I got laryngitis, so it's hard for me.
No problem, I can hear you.
More soon.
Thanks. You're here on 2 warrants from the state of Missouri. They're both from Pettis County, Missouri.
Yes.
And in number 13 on the calendar, it says you've been charged with harassment in the first degree, a Class E felony, and sexual misconduct in the first degree, a Class A misdemeanor.
Right.
This warrant issued September 30th, 2024. Then in number 14 on the calendar, you've been charged in Pettis County with failure to register as a sex offender and harassment in the second degree. Those are Class E felonies, and possession of a controlled substance, which is a Class D felony. And this warrant issued on September 18th of 2024. So these are both September of this year, the warrants. And so as I mentioned earlier, if you chose not to waive your rights today, then I would set bail. Now, the first one, number 13 on the calendar, which is the harassment and sexual misconduct, that issued as a no bond warrant. The other one issued with a $25,000 bond. So if you don't waive today, it's the court's intention to set bail in the no bond case as $75,000 cash, only for the reason that I stated earlier, which is that I cannot see that it is post-conviction, so I assume that it is not, which makes you eligible for bail. And in the other case, it's $25,000. So it'd be $100,000 cash with a court date of October 14th at 1:30, and you'd be on the 90-day clock to have an extradition hearing. Now, if you want to bypass that and agree to go back, then I can take your waiver. I have some formal questions I have to ask you, because whenever you give up rights, you have to do it formally. But if you want to give up your rights and agree to go back, then that will start a 30 calendar day clock against Missouri, provided you don't have any other Arizona charges or criminal case holds. I don't see any, but I never know if you just got a criminal speeding ticket a week ago. I don't know what might hit the system. And so I don't see any, but you might know better than I if there's an Arizona case lurking out there to find you. So assuming you don't have any, then your 30 days would start tomorrow, which is October 5th. It starts the day after you waive, and it's 30 calendar days. If they don't come by the day 30, you get released. But as that gentleman knows, the warrant stays active in the national system, and you can be rearrested on the very same warrants, because getting arrested here does not quash the warrant out of the Missouri system. So if they didn't come get you and you got released, do something about the warrants in Missouri, or this is going to happen again. And so, if you want to waive 30 calendar days, I have to hold you no bond from the moment that you waive, because they're making arrangements to come get you. We don't let you run around while they're arranging that. So you're no bond as soon as you waive for those 30 days. They cannot extend the 30 days. That's the maximum time that they have. Now, if any local, which means Arizona, charge or hold pops up during the 30 days, the clock stops. You have to deal with your Arizona case, and then Missouri's clock starts over at day one. So it's 30 days no bond. If you waive, it's 90-day clock to have the extradition hearing if you don't waive, and I will set your first court date October 14th. Any questions?
No.
Okay, then do you know what you want to do today?
Waive it.
Okay, then let me ask you those questions so we have a good record that you understand the rights you have before I ask if you want to give them up. So first question is, did you read the waiver of extradition paperwork we gave you? That's the card. You said
Yes, it is.
Okay, thanks. I know it's hard for you to talk, but I have to at least get an audible answer.
Right.
Do you understand that you do not have to sign the waiver paperwork for either of these warrants?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to extradition hearing on each one of these warrants?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to insist that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states for each warrant before you can be returned to Missouri on that warrant?
Yes.
And do you understand that you have the right to bail if you don't waive?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you do waive, you're going to be held 30 calendar days without bond?
Yes.
And do you understand that if you have any Arizona charges or holds, the 30-day clock will begin at the conclusion of your Arizona case?
Yes.
All right. Then, have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication in the last 24 hours?
No.
And has anybody promised you anything or threatened you with anything to get you to waive?
No.
All right. Understanding all those rights, do you want to give them up and sign the waiver?
Yes.
All right. Then I find that you knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily are waiving your right to an extradition hearing and signing the waiver paperwork. My orders will direct our sheriff's office to notify Missouri that you're ready to return. Missouri will have 30 calendar days starting tomorrow to come and get you. And I have to say this, if you have any Arizona charges or holds, Missouri's 30 days will begin at the conclusion of your Arizona cases. All right, so if you please step over here, you're going to have to sign several times to do the waiver, but then we're going to give you a copy of what you're signing, and you'll be all done. All right, thank you. All right, yes. All right, good morning, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
Elijah Bell.
What's your birth date? Okay, thanks. Mr. Bell, you're here on a new case. You're arrested for one allegation of sexual conduct with a minor under the age of 15 and 3 allegations of molestation of a child under the age of 15. Those are all Class 2 felonies and what is classified as a dangerous crime against children. That's a legal classification. I am appointing a lawyer for you, and you can go over what might be formally charged and go over that with your lawyer. Your next court date is a status conference this coming Thursday, October 10th at 8:30 in the morning in the Downtown Superior Court. Your preliminary hearing will be October 14th at 8:30 in the same court. And on the strength of the evidence alleged, the court will set bail in the amount of $150,000. It is secured. The state recommended a cash-only bond. This court is ordering that as a secured bond. That means you can use a bail bondsman to possibly post bond for less than the full amount. If you do post that, you will be on an ankle monitor under the supervision of pretrial services because you are accused of sexually motivated felonies. Absolutely no contact with the alleged victim or her family or her property. Hold on, don't go to the scene of the alleged crimes, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. What's your question?
So then what would I do about them going to my auntie's job, threatening my family? And
your auntie needs to call the police. They are not allowed to, nobody is allowed to threaten other people. That is against the law, and they have to take that up with the police and don't get involved in that, whether you are in or out of jail, because you are under an order for no contact. Right now, whatever's going on between them and your family is between them and your family, that you don't want to be accused of violating release conditions. We do need to reprint this one. Yeah, thank you. No, it's good, thanks. And so this one I just want to reprint, please. All right, so I did give you a lawyer. Your court date is Thursday, and everything else I told you is on your paperwork. So give us a chance to reprint that, and we'll send it out for you, okay? All right, go ahead and have a seat. Thank you.